We are heading to Davaar Island. It's really worth the trip, but look at the tide timetables. It is a tidal island, so when the tide is out, there is a small window that you can walk along the causeway, see the caves. Don't get too excited by the caves and forget to come back and make it back over the causeway before the tide comes in. It's a unique little place and definitely worth a visit. Davaar Island was known as №𝔬𝔢 between sort of the mid 1400s and the start of 1500s. Basically means sanctuary, which you can understand because obviously with it being tidal it is a whole lot harder to reach, therefore you will get your sanctuary. The modern name Davaar comes basically from its shape. It is a two-pointed island. Fun fact, there are 43 tidal islands in the UK. 17 of them are in Scotland, and we've currently crossed the causeway to one of them. The north of the island is dominated by an impressive lighthouse built in 1854 by the famous engineers David and Thomas Stevenson. It was automated in 1983. The lookout, which is now holiday let, was built during World War II for naval personnel. They stretched anti-submarine nets across the water to protect Campbellton. An interesting fact is Davaar Island, this tiny island.
It's a bugged in.
No idea. So we'll try that again.
Try again.
Davaar Island, this tiny island, had its own set of postage stamps in the 1960s. Visitors would come over to the island and it was really quite a novelty to send your post. The boatman would come and take your post over to Campbellton, to the sorting office. Now, the cost of this novelty, the price of a postage stamp was double what it was over on Kintyre Peninsula, and the novelty wore out in the 1970s. And this is why we have traversed these ankle breakers to see what's in here. This story ranks in my top 10 favourites since I began my fixation with exploring Scotland's history. Davaar Island is known for its caves. I can just imagine a foray into smuggling related to them, or tinkers setting up camp deep in the bowels to wake up with wet feet. What you don't expect to find in a cave is a work of art. On the 20th of August 1887, a work of art was discovered, not in a gilded frame smuggler style, but beautifully painted onto the cave wall.
Oh, it's stunning.
A few days after the painting had been completed, a yacht pulled up just outside the cave. The sailor came into the cave for a wee bit of respite. He lit his pipe, looked up at the wall and promptly fainted. Two of the crew members came in to scrape him off the cave floor, and they saw the spectacle, and the three of them got back into their yacht, headed straight into Campbellton to the local newspaper, the Campbellton Courier, to let them know what they'd found. Campbellton Courier got the scoop and put it in the weekly paper, and within a few days half of Campbellton were traipsing over this beautiful boulder field to get in and have a look at Jesus. The Courier hadn't found out who had done it, and it would take a full week before the identity of the person was found, and that was one Archibald McKinnon. It went down not so well. Some people found that the painting was quite an insult and quite blasphemous, and poor old Archibald was run out of town. But who was Archibald? I'll tell you his story now. The estate on the island has several rare breeds of sheep, and the island is also dotted with wild goats as well. Yes, suitably unimpressed. Right, let's go. Obviously we've told you the whole story, and I'm walking along here and I'm wondering, how did folk from Campbellton in their hunters get over all these rocks to see this magnificent sight in long dresses and probably their Sunday best, in case there was someone of the cloth had maybe made it out to the cave as well. This is what you call a boulder field. This is a proper boulder field. Archie McKinnon was born in Campbellton, and at age 14 he attended the Glasgow School of Art. He returned to Campbellton as an art teacher at the local school, and he claims that in a dream he was told to paint the painting in the cave. He was even told which cave to paint it in. He headed out each morning with art supplies from the school and did the masterpiece. Now, when I said he had been run out of town for the blasphemy of the painting, that is one story, but there is another story, and that is that he ran because he didn't want anybody finding out that the school supplies had gone missing. When interviewed, Archibald said he had to tie his artist brushes to a walking stick to complete the top section, and had completed his task early in the mornings and completely in secret. But the upshot of the story was that they mustn't have found him that offensive and with what he had done, because he was asked back twice to really refurbish the painting, and he, on the second trip, was welcomed from the Greenock ferry with a band on the pier and all the dignitaries to welcome him. So he obviously got his copybook clean again. Archie worked for a time in the Liverpool shipyard, but would eventually follow his true passion to become a full-time artist when himself, his wife and daughter moved to ℌ𝔦𝔡𝔡𝔢, close by. It was said his wife was quite prim and proper, and Archibald was a tad henpecked. Whatever the circumstances of him leaving Campbellton, as I said before, he was indeed invited back twice to restore the painting, once in 1902 and then in 1934 with his expenses paid in full. In 1934 he got the national press's attention, and a massive crowd gathered to welcome off the ℎ𝔬𝔬 steamer. The cave was even attended by the provost, magistrates, town council and a selection of churchmen. Archibald McKinnon died the following year at the ripe old age of 85. He lies beside his wife and daughter in ℌ𝔦𝔡𝔡𝔢. If you visit Campbellton Museum, a few of his paintings can be viewed, a much underrated artist in my opinion. So that was Davaar Island, and maybe more importantly, the story of Archibald McKinnon. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe and leave a comment. It really helps the channel grow. You can get me on other social media, Facebook and Instagram of the same name, Exploring Scotland's History. Until next time, thank you for watching.